Matthew 6:1. Watch out. Don't you do your good deeds publicly to be admired by others, for you will lose the reward from your Father in heaven. When you give to someone in need, don't do it as the hypocrites do, blowing trumpets in the synagogues and streets to call attention to their acts of charity. I tell you the truth, they have received all the reward they will ever get. A side note in my Bible, it says it's easier to do what is right when we gain recognition and praise. To be sure our motives are not selfish, we should do our good deeds quietly or in secret, with no thought of reward. Jesus says we should check our motives in 3 areas: generosity, prayer, and fasting. Those acts should not be self-centered, but God-centered, done not to make us look good, but to make God look good. The reward God promises is not material, and it is never to be given to those who seek it. Doing something only for ourselves is not a loving sacrifice. It's easier to do things around when people are around watching, and you get that feeling, I'm doing something right. But the real question comes down to, and the real thing is, if you would still do it if people weren't looking, that's the biggest thing. And to not do it in a selfish way, but being selfless, I would say.
Proverbs 16:19. But it's better to live lowly with the spirit of the poor than to divide the spoils with the proud. And that God is saying pretty much that we need to go against the flow of the world. We need to be apart from the world. That we need to be faceless and nameless in a sense. We have to walk in a proudness of ourselves in God than a proudness of the world. We have a short life here on earth and forever in heaven. So why would we sit with the materialistic things of the world when we can have riches and glories of God in heaven? We don't need the world. The world is nothing to us. Live for God.
Jeremiah 9:23-24. Let not the wise boast in their wisdom, or the strong boast in their strength, or the rich boast in their riches. But let the one who boasts boast about this, that they have the understanding to know me, that I am the Lord who exercises kindness, justice, and righteousness on the earth. For in these I delight, declares the Lord. So a nameless, faceless person has nothing to rejoice in. The only thing they have to rejoice in is the fact that they know the Lord. That's all that they have. They don't want to be glorified for anything that they have, anything good that they've done, but they just want to give all the glory to God.
So, once upon a time back, 2,000 years ago, Jesus is walking around. He goes to this house and with his disciples, and he goes into this house, and Mary's there, Martha's little sister, and she runs up to him and she starts washing his feet with this really expensive perfume, and the disciples are looking at her and they're like, this perfume could have been used for something better, sold to feed the poor or something like that. And she just went up and did it. And her motive behind it the entire time, she's getting scoffed at, she's getting, rebuked in a way, is just to worship Jesus and to just be at his feet and just clean his feet and just worship him. And it wasn't about what other people saw or what other people thought. It was just between her and him. And it was just really cool because it really encourages me that your relationship with Jesus and your worship for Jesus, it doesn't involve other people. It's just you and him. And I just think it's a beautiful thing when you can get past other people's perspective of you and other people's opinions and what other people say, and you can just worship Jesus for who he is out of that desire of your own heart.